I'm Matt Clark, and I'm a volunteer at the Morrison Natural History Museum in Morrison, Colorado.
And I'm Jackson Crawford of YouTube, I guess. Longtime friend of the Morrison Natural History Museum. And if you are into local fossils or just visiting the area and you would love to get up close and personal with one area's well-curated collection of fossils. I mean, what I love is that these fossils are actually from here. Morrison Natural History Museum is a place for you to visit. And what I'm going to be talking about today is actually the Icelandic names of some of our local Colorado dinosaurs, because Icelandic is kind of famous for coming up with its own names for everything, including specific species of dinosaurs, with dinosaurs in general being called risaeðlur. So eðla is an old word for lizard, so it's used as an equivalent to saurus, also an ancient Greek word for lizard. And risa is like giant, so like giant lizards. So the dinosaurs lived during miðlífsöld, the mid-life's age, the age of middle life. That's the Mesozoic. And in particular, most dinosaur fossils come from either the Jurassic, Júragarðurinn, which of course is the source of the name of the famous dinosaur movie Jurassic Park, Júragarðurinn. After all, maybe dinosaurs have more in common with birds than they do with reptiles. See the pubic bone. Turn backwards just like a bird. Vertebrae, air sacs. Hollow, just like a bird. And even the word raptor means bird of prey.
That doesn't look very scary. More like a 6-foot turkey.
Imagine yourself back in the Cretaceous period. You see one of these 6-foot turkeys as you enter a clearing. You try to keep still. You think maybe his visual acuity is based on movement, like a T-Rex. He'll lose you if you don't move. But no, not Velociraptor. And that's when the attack comes. Not from the front, from the side. The other two raptors you didn't even know were there. This Velociraptor is a pack hunter, and he is out in force today. He doesn't try to rip your throat out like a lion, no. He comes at you with this 6-inch retractable claw. He slashes at you. Here, maybe across the belly. The point is, you are alive when they start to eat you. So, maybe show a little respect. Okay. Or they come from the Cretaceous, Crete or Cretartímabilið, the Cretaceous time period. Let's begin with some Jurassic fossils from the Morrison Formation named for our home site. Just a short little ways from the Morrison Museum is Dinosaur Ridge, where many of the most famous Jurassic dinosaurs were originally discovered, including Stegosaurus, our state fossil. Now, somewhere along the line, I encountered a word for Stegosaurus that was þórseðla, Rufosaurus basically, which would be exactly cognate with the Greek name that's used in standard paleontology, Stegosaurus. But now in 2024, having quoted this word for Stegosaurus for 16, something like that years, I can't find it anywhere, and the only word that I find, even in the original dictionary that I learned the Icelandic dinosaur names from, is kambeðla, Comosaurus. So I suppose that must be the word. Now, come to the Morrison Museum, you'll see not only some of the type specimen fossils of Stegosaurus, but also footprints of Stegosaurus, both mature and babies. And you could even support the museum by getting one of our new Protect Our Fossils license plates, only available to Colorado residents. These license plates do help support the museum as well as the site at Dinosaur Ridge. The creature that is usually called Apatosaurus and that will get you, slapped on the hand by some dinosaur enthusiasts for calling it Brontosaurus is þórseðla, Thor's-osaurus, the lizard, if you will, of Thor. And see some work by my good friend Matthew T. Mossbrucker, who works at the Morrison Museum, of course, about the difference between Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus, and about how Apatosaurus isn't just the right name for Brontosaurus, but we're talking about two different animals. Then there's Allosaurus, the Jurassic predator that would have eaten Stegosaurus. In the original dictionary that I learned the Icelandic dinosaur names from, this is listed preferentially under vígeðla, so like Battleosaurus or even Killosaurus, although with a secondary name skolleðla, the Cetosaurus. Most of the online references that I can see show people calling this animal skolleðla, which is a little bit interesting because that would be a good translation of the Greek name Apatosaurus, the sea lizard. So I'm not exactly sure how that got applied to Allosaurus, but it seems to be the preferred name in actual usage. Moving to Cretaceous dinosaurs from the Rocky Mountain region, we have Triceratops. It seems that most Icelandic resources list the name of this animal as nashyrningseðla. Nashyrningur is a rhinoceros, so literally the one with the nose horn. So this is like Rhinocerosaurus, which makes sense from its appearance. Although the dictionary that I learned dinosaur names from seem to prefer þríhyrningseðla, so the three-horn one creature kind of building a parallel to rhinoceros, the nashyrning, as the three-horn one, þríhyrningseðla. We find quite a lot of Triceratops fossils on our digs at Triceratops Gulch in Glen Rock, Wyoming, which you are invited to join. Go to the Morrison Natural History Museum website for more information about dates for this year's digs. There is naturally Tyrannosaurus, which is grameðla. Now, I am sure the original intent behind this name was to make it gramur, king, tyrant, but that is also the name of the sword of Sigurður, the hero of the Volsung poems in the Poetic Edda and the saga of the Volsungs, who slays a dragon with his sword. Gramur. So I like to think this is Gramur, the sword-osaurus. So this is almost as if in English we talked about Excalibursaurus or Lightsabersaurus, or used another famous sword in the name of Tyrannosaurus with its, of course, amazing large teeth. Then there is Nanotyrannus, which recent work by the Morrison Museum and others suggests is a different animal from Tyrannosaurus. This is sometimes a source of controversy, although I have found teeth from both Tyrannosaurus and Nanotyrannus at the dig site at Triceratops Gulch, and can testify I believe these are different animals because you find large and small Nanotyrannus teeth, large and small Tyrannosaurus teeth. They don't look like one growth sequence of one into the other. Anyway, Icelandic name for Nanotyrannus, smágramur. So small gramur, small sword, small tyrant. The velociraptor is famously snarleðla. So snar, it's like fastosaurus. It's basically, velociraptor. It's fast catcher. Now, in the Rocky Mountain region, we did not have velociraptor, which is a smaller animal from Mongolia. Rather, we had Utahraptor, a much larger animal, actually much closer in size to the animals that you see in Jurassic Park, with these amazing killer claws. The Icelandic name of Utahraptor, klóskelfir, which is claw shaker. Utahraptor's a special dinosaur to me. It was discovered during my lifetime and, of course, sort of validated the monster-sized, quote-unquote, velociraptors that Steven Spielberg featured in Jurassic Park. You might have noticed in that scene from Jurassic Park, starring Sam Neill's Alan Grant, of course, that the claw that was used to intimidate the branded kid was in fact much larger than a velociraptor claw. It's a Utahraptor claw. This is actually a reconstruction of its size in life with the keratin sheath, right? The nail-like sheath. The bone comes to about here. And this is in fact a fairly conservative estimate. These are sold by the museum. You can grab one at Stegosaurus Day if you come by to support the museum. Robert Bacher, friend of the museum, my childhood idol and adulthood friend, also wrote a book in the 90s called Raptor Red, and my father and grandfather and I attended the release event for this book at the Colorado School of Mines, and Dr. Bacher signed my book, All the Best, and that is the source of phrase that for whatever reason people now associate with me. So it's all tied up with Utahraptor. A couple of wrap-up remarks about this. I first encountered the Icelandic dinosaur names in my PhD program at the University of Wisconsin, I think probably in 2008 or 9, because my grandfather was still alive, when my advisor had me read the entire Icelandic dictionary, Íslensk orðabók, by Mörður Árnason. And what I was looking for were any words for color as part of my advisors and my own continuing studies of color in Old Norse and modern Icelandic. And that's where I first saw, oh wow, there's an Icelandic word for Tyrannosaurus rex and Stegosaurus and Triceratops. And then I have supplemented a little bit with some names that I found on an Icelandic website. I think it was called þórseðla, ancient history animals, prehistoric animals. If I could, I would love to contribute a dinosaur name to Icelandic. I mean, it would be a small legacy, but a legacy I would really enjoy. And in my digs that I've participated in with the Morrison Natural History Museum in Glen Rock, Wyoming, I have actually found a tooth from a troodontid. Now, Troodon means wounding tooth. That's the name that Microtech also gave to one of its signature knives that I really love. Got this at other local friends, my buddies at Trigger Time, who you should also support if you're into this sort of thing. Troodon, the reason Microtech gave it this name, the reason that it's the name of the dinosaur, is that it means wounding tooth. So, wounding tooth in Icelandic, so wound is saur, tooth is tun, root is tan, because you've got U mutation there. So maybe saur tanar eðla, the wound tooth saurus of wound tooth. I think that would be a real appropriate name. I haven't seen anyone propose a Icelandic name for Troodon. So hey, Icelanders, if you wanna, if you're taking suggestions, that's my suggestion. Troodon. South Thailand right there. It's always surprised me a little bit that it's still not that well known that the reptilian creatures of sea and sky during the Mesozoic were not technically dinosaurs. The pterosaurs, who flew and were close relatives of dinosaurs but not dinosaurs, are called vígeðla in Icelandic, so flying lizards. I have not been able to find names for specific genera, but this pteranodon that we have at the Morrison Museum from the Cretaceous, I thought I might venture another original name, because why not? I might suggest comparing this to the Roadrunner. They've always looked like Roadrunners to me. So I thought, well, if the Icelandic name for the Roadrunner is quite appropriately Spretgaukur, which is like run cuckoo, then this could be Spretgauksæðla. And then in the sea, much more distantly related to dinosaurs and closer to monitor lizards and snakes, are the mosasaurs. I have not been able to find an Icelandic name for this group, but the pliosaurs are called Gjáseðlur, goose lizards, which I think is kind of interesting. Plesiosaurs then are smágramur. Those are the really long-necked marine reptiles of the Mesozoic. I thought maybe for the specific massive Allosaurus, which we have a skull of, a really cool Icelandic species name might be Júragarðurinn, So Jormungandr being the Mythgarðsormur, the serpent that encircles the entire planet that will kill Thor at Ragnarok. So I have the arrogance, I suppose, is just a couple more ancient species names. All right, back to the museum.
If you want to pet a T-Rex, you know, you can come here.
Or pet a Nanotyrannus.
Or pet a Nanotyrannus. You know, and work on some actual fossils and see them up close, feel them, have a guided tour. Come to the Morrison Natural History Museum. You know, the dinosaurs are just waiting to meet you here.
And you can argue with somebody. You can probably find somebody to argue with about whether this is this or the same thing. No one feels strongly about that here. Right. All right, well, hey, thanks out there to everybody. Thank you to my supporters on Patreon and Ko-Fi. And from beautiful Colorado, wishing you all the best. Oh, and hey folks, don't forget to visit the Morrison Natural History Museum this Saturday to celebrate our state fossil on Stegosaurus Day. We'll hope to see you there. All the best.